What's going on, guys? Jeff Wybo here. If you are new to my channel, make sure you guys hit that like button, you hit the subscribe button. I have lots of great real estate investor tips and training and everything like that. I'm teaching you guys on how to make a lot of money as a real estate agent. So make sure you follow me along on my journey. So I wanted to talk to you guys. Maybe you came across this video because you're trying to take your Ontario Real Estate Association courses. And I'm a realtor. I've been a realtor for 2.5 years, and I just kind of want to talk about the process that I did to streamline it and pass the test very efficiently and fast. Back when I took my courses, I had to take 3 tests and then I became a realtor, and I had 2 years to take the other tests. Now if you're taking the program, you have to take all 5 or 6 before they will even let you be a realtor. So it's kind of, you guys have to do all this studying and you never really get to put anything into action until you finally become a realtor. So what I see a lot of agents are doing is, they're burying themselves in the library and they're trying to study for their tests, and they're really treating this like such a school. But my goal is to get you to become a realtor very fast and start making money, and not sitting there and studying all the material. Because if you get 100% on your test, or the minimum pass is 75%, you know what they call you? A realtor. And I'm not trying to knock it on anybody, but there's a lot of people that probably got 100% on the test, but they never got one sale done after that. What the OREA stuff is very good. What it does, it teaches us realtors all the policy making of how to do the deals and all the proper formats. It does not teach you how to be a sales rep. You're not a salesman or woman yet. All you know how to do is write. You don't even come out of it technically knowing how to write an offer. If you're in the middle of the courses right now and you came across this video, do you know how to write an offer? Potentially not, right? So you're gonna wait till you get to your brokerages and they're gonna teach you all this stuff. But what I wanna do is get you guys passing these tests quickly. So there is what you can do when you buy your courses with OREA. You can add on PASSIT, okay? PASSIT becomes about $25 something. Now, what I did was I passed all 3 of my tests to become a realtor in about 90 days. One of the things that you're going to be really hampered on to getting your license would be booking your exams. So the moment, let's say you book one right now and it's in 3 weeks, then you're going to study for 3 weeks. You can't book test 2 till you're done. So another suggestion I want to give is to write your exam on the iPad. If you're like me, you're a young millennial, you're pretty good on your phone, this is a lot easier. You probably studied with your computer. Try to stay away from the paper copy one for 2 reasons. The paper copy one, it's usually a lot more people. For me, I did it once and it was at a university. It felt very school-like. One guy coughs over there and you're really kind of looking over there. And let's say you make a mistake, you gotta sit there and erase it properly because you know it's going through the Scantron, so you're getting all flustered about this. But on the iPad, you hit A, I think it's B, and then you hit B, and it just moves, just like on your phone, like touching, playing any game, doing whatever, subscribing to my YouTube channel, stuff like that. And the beauty part about the iPad exam is you get your marks back that night. If latest, they always say, at least by tomorrow morning or something like that. I was getting it back, so I'd be writing at 9 a.m. You get out of there just before lunch or something, 11:30, and you get your marks by 6 p.m. So the first thing you do after you pass your first exam is to book your next one. All you guys, if you're gonna start waiting and then I passed, and then you're never gonna become a realtor. This is going to take forever. It's going to be this 2-year long process of you trying to become one. So book your next test immediately, because the slots add up. Because if you wait another week, then you go to look, and the next test is 3 weeks out, but maybe the 3 weeks out one's already booked, and then you got to look at a different city, and then you're trying to do this, and just get it and book it and put yourself under the gun. I love doing that. You're going to become a realtor, so you're going to be under pressure all the time. So put yourself under pressure. Now I was talking about getting the PASSIT. It's an extra $25 or whatever it is now to get it. It is worth its weight in gold. It costs you about $25, but you need this program. And what you do, they're going to give you that big binder. They're going to give you this giant book. And what I suggest is do not go to the library and lock yourself in it for 1 week, 2 weeks, and read it. Don't do it. I'm telling you, do not study for your exam like that, because you're gonna try to learn so much data that's not gonna be on the test, and you're gonna study the wrong things. And think about a lawyer. When you become an agent, a lawyer, do you think the lawyer knows the law perfectly in every scenario in any type of law, or does he know where to find the answers later on, right? So this is just like the Canadian systems of any exams. We're required to regurgitate an answer, but actually in real life, you never have to do it. They're going to be teaching you about meets and bounds. Guess what? I've never dealt with that in my life as a realtor, and maybe the odd percentage of realtors have, but I haven't. And if I ever had to, you got time to study something. I had to go find this. I think I'm gonna have to use it as kindling this summer. But okay, so what you do, you take PASSIT. I always this nice realtor here, because he was couldn't wait till he retired to get his real estate license. Well, I'll tell you what, real estate is not a retirement job if you want to do it successfully. It is a lot of work. It can be 7 a.m. till midnight during a hot market when you just roll over, check your phone. But anyways, on PASSIT, I suggest, if you've ever read Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Work Week, he talks about the 80-20 principle in there, and there's another book called the 80-20 principle. And you want to spend 20% of your effort to produce 80% results. Okay, so you don't want to study this whole book. You don't want to study this whole book. What you want to do is do PASSIT. And first thing I would suggest to do is honestly write their free practice exam without studying and get a 30% from luck. And go back and then read those questions that you got wrong and start to learn the answers in reverse. Okay, no one else is probably teaching you this. They're all probably teaching you like study this. I'm teaching you, let's hack this exam in reverse. You need 75% to pass the test. If you get 86, you're not a better realtor than the guy who got 82. It could be totally different tests, it doesn't matter. You need to become a realtor. When you go back into PASSIT and you're writing you're seeing all the questions, if you get one wrong, so just start doing all the free learning in there. If you get it right, study it. And what I was doing was, I think there's chapters in here. There's like 1, 2, 13. And I've been a realtor for 2.5 years, so honestly, eventually you forget all this, how you did it all. But there's 13 chapters. I wrote a piece of paper, I wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 13. And every time there was a little tidbit on chapter 1, because if you got a question wrong in PASSIT, it would tell you which page number the answer was in correspondence to this book. And I would open up the book and I would read that paragraph if I was confused on that part. And if it was a very interesting acronym or something, I would write that on my little cheat sheet. And I had everything on one cheat sheet from chapter 1 to 13, and all these little bullet points for each chapter that kind of came from this. But I never read this really. I just kind of flipped through it when need be. And you can get the online versions as well. You don't actually have the physical one. But this is how I did it. I hacked this exam. Now, here's a very important point. If you're on your PASSIT right now, you'll notice for the practice exam, there are 1-pointer questions, 2-pointer questions, and 3-pointer questions. So the 3-pointer questions is the last part of the exam, and there's about, say, 12 or something, 3-pointers. 12 3-pointers. If you F that up, you've lost 36% of your exam, right? And you need 75% to pass. So if you want to really hack these exams, you need to be able to master those final part of the exam. And yes, the questions will be a little bit different, but some of the courses have a lot of math, and they're just changing names and stuff like that, and different brokerages' names, and the math is the math. So I know maybe you're not amazing at math, but once you kind of figure out how it all works, you have to master those problems at the end. And some of them are 3-parter questions, so it'd be question 38, 39, 40, and then it could be 41, 42, and they're 2-parters. So you have to know how to pass those. If you cannot, you're screwed. So 80-20 principle comes into play. You need to be able to put in 20% of your effort to produce 80% results, would be mastering the back half of the exam. You can flunk the first half of the exam with all these little tidbit points in here because they're only one. If you got all those wrong, you're only down about, let's say out of those 20 or 25 questions of 1-pointers, and you're down, you make mistakes, you make 5 mistakes, that's 5 points. So now you're at like a 95%, but you need 75% to pass. But if you screw up the other 3-pointers, you start creeping into that 80% and getting close to that 79 and 75, and you're gonna be in trouble. So yes, focus on the 3-pointers. Honestly, there's patterns, you can follow it. If you're watching on PASSIT, you'll see the types of questions that they're at the end of the exam. All the other stuff is just kind of random. So why you need to do this, and like, you might be sitting there being like, but I want to learn everything. I'm telling you, you can learn it all later. And everybody who gets through this, the first thing I say, oh, do you know how to write an offer? Like, no. So you don't even know how to write an offer at the end of these exams. So literally, one of the best advice that I ever got was from another agent. Just get through it, because you'll learn it all later, all right? I think in the first exam, you're going over how mortgage rates and land transfer tax. Guess how many times you do that in the field? 0. Never once. Yet they make you do that. It's kind of like probably back if you're, I'm 34 now, but if back when you had to like learn the periodic table, why do we have to learn that in school? Now you can just Google it. Same thing in real estate. You can just kind of Google the answers, or talk to your brokers, or talk to other people later, and eventually like the deals all kind of like work out the same. Different but same every time. Like, there's nothing like too crazy, and you're not super under the clock all the time. You can text back and forth and figure out answers. Half this stuff in this book is, remember, it's policy. So you just need to know where to find the policy answers later on, and it could be asking your broker and the board and stuff like that. So these are my tips to streamline your process to get you qualified as quickly as possible so you can make money. I will say I do have a realtor course. I'll put the link in the description. And what I do is I help junior agents and maybe even senior agents make $100K commission in their first year. Well, if you fail at 95%, $95,000 commission, I'm sure you won't be too mad at me, but that's a good fail. A lot of people have been signing up for it, so I appreciate it. You guys can see that link down there. And this, right now, if you're taking your courses, getting your license means nothing. You'll have your license, you're gonna be all excited, you're gonna wanna go make a sale, but you've been hiding in the library the whole time and no one even knows that you're becoming a realtor. My course teaches a lot of stuff like this, like getting you guys out there and really doing a lot of stuff before your license, during your license, and then all the stuff after, and really streamlines the process so you guys can hit the ground running, making money, and not necessarily listening to some bad advice that you might get at brokerages, which probably was good advice, but maybe 10 years ago, because this is an ever-changing game. And well, I'll be updating the courses as needed, because that event, 20 years is probably not going to make any sense, because now you'll be signing forms digitally with the Wink or something like that. Now it's all on your phone, but used to be this thing called pen and paper before too. We don't use that anymore, so you can be at home and make money. Anyways, appreciate you guys sticking around to watch this. Honestly, if you want to become an agent, this is the fastest way to do it. It worked for me. Just remember, you don't need 100%. You just need the 75. So don't overstudy. I always joked, if I got 82%, I 7% overstudied, because you don't need it. So we'll try to keep that in the back of your mind. The goal is to become a realtor, not to become the professor of the policy here, okay? Because we can learn it all later, and putting a sign on the lawn doesn't even teach you that in the book. So sorry, you're gonna have to learn that later. But you can send me a question or comment below. Let me know. Appreciate it, guys. Hit that like and subscribe, and we will catch you guys on all my other videos and the next video. Bye.